What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
This wasn't something to discuss over the telepathy net via Demon's Ring, so I decided to visit Milam directly. Milam's castle was still being built, but some areas were already livable. In one such part was a medical facility, where Obara was recovering. When she first arrived, she was in critical condition and unconscious. Now, she was awake and sitting up in bed. We hadn't been able to talk to her before because she was asleep for so long. I greeted Obara with a nod.
Hello, I'm Rimuru Tempest, a demon lord.
This was our first encounter, so I introduced myself. Frey, who seemed even more beautiful than before, gave me a surprised look.
It might be disrespectful to say this to you, Demon Lord Rimuru, but don't you think you should act with more dignity? Handling emergencies is one thing, but showing proper decorum in daily life is important too. It's clear to anyone watching.
Frey's comment was likely out of concern for Milam's influence. Rimuru's carefree attitude, well, Milam often made excuses for him. It was like a concerned mother worrying about a bad influence on her child. I couldn't help but smile at the thought, which made Carrion grin.
Frey sure keeps you on your toes, huh?
Come on now, don't tease just because you've gained a new ally. Carrion and Frey treated me informally when others weren't around, as I had requested. It made things less stiff. However, their overall demeanor had changed a lot. Benimaru had mentioned this, but seeing them now, they seemed like different people.
So, I hear you've fully embraced your newfound powers?
Yep, tell Benimaru I appreciate his help the other day.
Carrion had a good friendship with Benimaru. They hit it off after a sparring match when they first met and had been friends since. Even though Benimaru now held more power, Carrion didn't mind and even boasted he would catch up soon. Frey was similar.
Thanks to you, I can be more useful to Milam now.
She smiled in gratitude, though I doubted it made it any easier for her to scold Milam. I accepted her thanks, knowing her strength would be crucial in the Great War.
Still, Ramorous Labyrinth is quite something. Who knew it had such potential? We've known her for ages as fellow demon lords.
Absolutely. I thought she was just favored by Gi, but who knew the little one had such hidden power?
I don't think she was hiding it. We just never noticed.
I knew about it.
Knowing isn't helpful if you can't do anything with it. That labyrinth proved that. So, Milam, don't be a sore loser.
Frey scolded Milam, who usually acted like a know-it-all. Carrion laughed and shared his thoughts.
Honestly, I can't blame Milam. We looked like fools too, but it makes sense, right? No one treats others as well as Rimuru does.
That's true. In that way, we're also being used.
Frey nodded, and I hadn't anticipated this about Ramirez's labyrinth. Initially, I thought I'd just make use of it, but after learning more, I was astonished. Was that really possible? I was taken aback. After much trial and error, the labyrinth we have now was created. Since I didn't plan it from the start, their praise was overblown. Still, the results were impressive. The labyrinth was incredible, especially with its ability to bring people back to life. It was an excellent training ground and nearly impossible to penetrate. It amazed me that Ramirez had been underestimated for so long, making my own contributions seem insignificant. But I didn't want to dwell on it, so I just laughed it off.
Alright, let's wrap up our introductions and get to the main topic.
Frey's words shifted the mood in the hospital room to a more serious tone. Obara, who had been watching us intently, straightened up and addressed me formally.
Pleased to meet you, Demon Lord Rimuru-sama. I am Obara, formerly one of the 3 Phantom Commanders and the head of the anti-cryptid forces.
Obara's expression was enigmatic, but she spoke sincerely. Just like Milam and the others believed, my intuition told me she was being truthful. Still, I decided to confirm her intentions.
Just to clarify, you understand that defecting right before a major war can be seen as espionage, correct?
Absolutely. I can't prove my innocence, but I'll share everything I know.
Obara's face was earnest, with no sign of deceit. Despite not being fully recovered, she began to explain. After her conversation with Milam, she returned to Feldway and received a physical body along with an angelic skill. Realizing the danger of being controlled by this power, she discarded the ultimate skill, Salvation King Azrael, before Feldway could manipulate her. Sylvia taught me the technique of separating the mind from a skill. I admired her knowledge, but it made me wonder if the enemy discovered Obara's betrayal because she abandoned her skill. As a result, Sylvia and Kigali faced difficulties, but it wasn't fair to blame Obara. I decided to overlook it, focusing instead on the truth of her story. I found it credible.
I agree. Her story was coherent, and she shared details that should have been secret. If she's willing to go this far, it's unlikely she's a spy.
Indeed, she spoke openly about being attacked by Michael and his powers. She mentioned that Michael's castle guard hadn't been activated and that he wielded both Velgrind and Velzard's powers, destroying Obera's army. Analyzing her information, it seemed too truthful to be a lie. CL's verification confirmed this, and Obera even allowed me to use analyze and assess on her. The results were clear. She didn't have the Salvation King Azrael, and wasn't under Michael's control. After all this, trusting Obera seemed the right choice. I gave her some recovery medicine and honey, urging her to get better quickly. Obera was left in Milam's care, and her information was shared among the demon lords. There was no longer any fear of leaking information. We all agreed it was better to be proactive. 2 days passed swiftly, and the day of the World Conference arrived. Benimaru stayed behind to protect Tempest as the commander-in-chief. For my escort, I had Ranga and Soy in the shadows, and Diablo as my secretary. With this team, I felt confident even if Feldway attacked.
Hey, boss, I might not be much help today, but if you need anything, just let me know.
Yum greeted me warmly. Mule Lan wasn't around, staying at home instead. Gadra was there as Yum's bodyguard. We exchanged greetings and planned to meet later. After the day's events, there would be a buffet party, followed by a relaxed gathering in Ingracia's capital. I headed to the assembly hall with some excitement and met up with Masayuki at the square in front of the hall. As the main figure of the day, I welcomed Masayuki warmly, acting as both a friend and a mediator.
Hey, have you gotten taller?
I had indeed grown a bit taller since becoming a true dragon. I used to be eye level with Masayuki, but now I towered over him again.
You noticed? Yeah, I think I've had a bit of a growth spurt.
Masayuki grinned, clearly pleased. On closer look, his hair was now a striking blonde.
Your hair too?
Yeah, it's completely changed color. Took some getting used to, but I'm fine with it now.
I wondered if this was some kind of anomaly. It seemed exaggerated, but perhaps Rudra really was returning. Then again, Masayuki was still himself, so I shrugged it off, and we entered the chamber together. In the grand circular hall, already familiar to me from previous visits, the dignitaries from various nations were gathered. The room was buzzing with activity, but it fell silent as soon as we walked in. All eyes were on us, but we were accustomed to it. Masayuki seemed unfazed too.
You look more distinguished.
Thanks. Announcing my ascension to the throne from the castle balcony, with countless people below, really helped me grow.
Declaring his rise to power had clearly bolstered his confidence.
It was impressive, Masayuki.
Velgrind reminisced with a wistful smile. She was here as Masayuki's chaperone, but her presence was formidable on its own. Her striking looks and military uniform drew the attention of many attendees. Amidst this, Chairman Lester, with his thick white beard, hurried over and guided us to our seats. We were placed at the front, fitting for our roles. I sat facing Masayuki, and from my seat, I could see Testarossa at the moderator's table. With everything in order, the historic reconciliation between the Western nations and the Eastern Empire seemed set to proceed smoothly, barring any unforeseen disruptions. As I pondered this, I failed to realize the red flags appearing, and simply waited quietly for the meeting to begin. The kingdom of Ingracia's great underground maze was a secret passageway, dug over centuries. Initially intended as a refuge against angelic invasions, it was known for its labyrinthine complexity. Near the surface, there were large open areas for public emergency shelters. But deeper down, secret chambers existed, known only to a few. These hidden levels housed a sinister research facility, the dark underbelly of the royal capital. Controlled by magical inquisitors, the research there focused on integrating monster traits into human bodies. Their findings were impressive. Muscle strength 10 times that of a normal human, skin tougher than steel, and reinforced skeletons. However, the king deemed these enhancements insufficient to combat demon lords.
Another failure. This one is more fragile than expected.
To incarnate a greater demon, we need a stronger body. The Empire is developing a weapon called the Betel Chimera, similar to our concept.
True, but there's a difference between directly modifying humans and creating synthetic beasts.
The existence of a drug that could induce these abilities was a closely guarded secret. Researchers believed the Betel Chimera was a perfect weapon, but felt direct human enhancement was quicker and superior. This belief led them to conduct experiments that ordinary people would find abhorrent, without any moral qualms. However, the results were still unsatisfactory. Despite their efforts, they hadn't achieved their goal. They had exhausted the available monster essences and had some success in extracting and utilizing them. The enhancement rate was steadily improving, and the models were being upgraded, but the latest issue wasn't physical, it was psychological. They say a healthy mind lives in a healthy body. If that's true, a stronger body should come with a stronger mind. With this idea, the researchers began exploring ways to merge with spiritual entities. They concluded that the fastest way would be to harness the power of demons. This was because acquiring a body was relatively easy. In the north, frequent skirmishes with demons provided a steady supply of lesser and greater demons. These demons were implanted into dead bodies and brought to life. Analyzing their composition led to some intriguing findings. How does demon incarnation work? The answer was that magicules infiltrated human cells, transforming them to be compatible with magic. This transformation occurred when the demon took the initiative. Forcibly absorbing a demon's power, however, was toxic to humans. It disrupted basic life functions like eating, sleeping, and breathing, essentially rebirthing the person as a new life form. Controlling such a transformation with human will was pure folly. The magical inquisitors had missed the mark. They focused solely on physical enhancement, ignoring the crucial element of willpower. They believed that strengthening the body was sufficient because the mental aspect would be boosted by the demon's power, leading to experiments heading in the wrong direction. Moreover, their misunderstanding was critical. By cultivating demon-incarnated cells, they extracted an essence.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible. Jared Bressler, Chad Vota, Nate, Havox, Speed Saber, Curtis Loban, Judah Herrera, Justa Guy, Miss L.W. Hernandez, Jason Martin, Zach Rossan, Jarius Ladek, Ray Perez, Donald Williams, Moab A, Day of Light, John M, Godman Gaming, Markithian Tidwell, Adrian, Kumo, Sanketh Chelu, T. Bush, John L, Edgar Fuentes, JV, Thomas, J, Christ, Joshua Cousins, Vethelny, Khaled, Christian Deshazer, Cal Robs, Divine C. Harris, Panda Cats, DeAndre Nance, Monty Boy 98, D-Man, Ruben, Yuki Iki, Gray, Kamal Ebanks, Isaac, Koala King 93, Paul DeGrassi, Little 95, Quilly Buckner, Zephyrus, Alver, Normal Defate, L, Gary Miles, Dragon Spawn 666, J. Rule, Liron Sangkap, Lucas Gay, Jason Martin, Ekotski, Foolish Prophets, Ethan Madison, Sky T, Diego Ginoza, Andre Hamilton, Guy Endsley, Simon Rode, Emperor WSA, Mika Espinosa, George Hage, Gobi Lin, Pratik Bandari, Arod Dare, Faiz Mansour, Jackson Early, Smexy, Carl Stephen Bernadal, Gareth Hashimoto, Steven Madison, Homelike Drop, Vasto Lord, Martin Ramos, Marl Barsha, Hansel Ortega, Karam Faraj, Efrain Hernandez, Luca Gaming WTF, William Locke, Jordan Mersha, Kamal Luke, Spencer Candila, Ian Sikibuyol, Putate, Thanakorn Lee Sawat, Lamar, KACP9R, Tony, The Harv, Mike Roch, Matthew Abraham, Drayden Yamauchi. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.